Okay. Oh, this is wonderful.
Okay.
He was just sharing he didn't know what to do today and he had three different options. So you just saved him from.
Oh, this is so wonderful.
Okay.
You have the floor, Miss Linda.
All right. Thank
I have a
you.
request. Could we all mute for the moment?
Actually, everybody's muted except you and Barbara and me.
Okay. All right. Here we go. God works in mysterious ways. I believe that God works in mysterious ways. When I reflect upon my life, I think of the instances where God or source, creator, universe, or whatever names you may call him has blessed me in my life in ways I didn't think could happen. From the feng shui studies I have taken that have been life-changing, from the negative experiences in my life, the messes that God has turned into masterpieces, the many friends that I have made along my journey, and numerous other instances. I can recall the time on how I learned about feng shui from a friend at church who told me that in feng shui can help with relationships and other aspects of life. And I asked, what is that? She explained that it is how you arrange your things in a way in your home to improve it. For romance, for example. I thought that was interesting. My life was not the best at the time. I was very sickly, worries plagued me, and I couldn't seem to hold on to a job. I had trouble sleeping, which led to numerous health issues. In 1999, during a checkup, my doctor said I had the chart of an 80-year-old, and I was only 31 years old at the time. Later on, a few days later, after speaking with my friend, I went to the library and happened to find a book on feng shui, or I would like to say the book found me. I opened the book only to find out that my bedroom was being affected by sha qi, or negative energies, were hitting me from all angles. I was very shocked and scared, to say the least. What did this all mean? I shared this with my best friend, who said, what does it say to do? Then I read that the author, Lillian Tu, said to move the bed away from the door and use tassels to soften the beams. I slept under a beam cutting diagonally across the midsection of my body. And mind you, I slept under this way until I was 13. I also had my bed near the door and could see the staircase. So the author said that ill health was coming into the room, which also explained my inability to sleep and the health issues I was facing. I quickly removed the bed to the opposite side of the wall. I had red strips of red ribbon from Christmas bows to the beam to soften the harsh point that was hitting me directly. My boyfriend referred to it as the hatchet. I also had to reorient my door, switch the hinges and opening to the other side in order to see who was coming into the room, and now have a view from my bed with the door. I was actually doing things a professional consultant would recommend for clients with my situation. I asked my mother to buy a new door for me as my old door was old and disheveled and made me very unhappy. I read it was important to have a beautiful door so good energy would flow. She bought a beautiful solid wood door with 6 inlaid panels. I loved my new door. I bought a compass and started to see what best directions were. And I had fear of doing it because I felt it was something woo-woo. It was just a compass. With trial and error, I got the room into the best possible arrangement, sleeping in my favorable direction, according to the author, and then wonderful things began to happen. The bedroom felt larger and brighter, and I was much happier. I slept better. I had more energy. I went from being sickly to healthy. I was able to invest in a beautiful bedroom set that I loved, as I had been using the hand-me-down bulky furniture my mother had given me. My relationships improved. I went from being unemployed and folks saying I had bad luck to starting a new job with Chase Bank in 2000, where I noticed similar layouts were favorable with feng shui and equated financial success for my employer. I also learned that some wealthy real estate moguls, Citibank, the Hyatt hotel chain, and other businesses subscribe to the principles of feng shui. I began to read books by Sarah Rothbach, Lillian Tu, and started to take classes in the learning annex with my feng shui master, Mei Hua Lin, whom I studied with 2 years, and she became my mentor. As I studied, I recalled when I was younger and fell in love with origami, and I also took apart nature calendars and put them up on the beam. I didn't know back then, but I was creating feng shui adjustments in my room. I was very sensitive to my environment, so it was natural for me to absorb feng shui. I eventually studied and became a feng shui consultant. Feng shui has brought me wonderful blessings in my life, from having a 2-bedroom condominium, several television media appearances, teaching workshops in various venues, helping numerous clients heal their spaces, and the journey continues to this day. Looking back on this 23 years later, I can see that in the steps that I had learned about feng shui and how it has led me to this amazing journey in my life was God truly working in mysterious ways. From me loving origami, finding the feng shui book, obtaining meaningful work and meeting Mei Wan Lin, having her feng shui our family home to sell, and then studying at the Feng Shui Alliance, making lifelong friends there, and having the wonderful and anointed Master R.D. Chin, who was one of my very first teachers and mentors. And to this day, I am grateful that I could call him one of my best and dearest friends. To conclude, I do believe that God works in mysterious ways, his wonders to perform, as quoted by Florence Scovel Shinn, one of my favorite authors. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Linda.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
That was very beautiful.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're an incredible writer. And the way you said it just felt so right.
Thank you, Sue.
Beautiful.
Of the piece about turning messes into miracles. I think that happens in all of our lives. And sometimes we think feng shui is the answer for everything, but it's a part of the answer. And I feel like this group is also part of that answer too.
Yes, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well said.
That's
Mhm.
beautiful.
Well said, John.
Yeah.
Well
Mm.
said.
Well, thank you, Linda. That was really, really beautiful. You are a beautiful writer,
Mhm.
and I felt like this was like a feng shui 101 in the beginning, learning about the energy and the placement, and that was really beautiful. And how you picked up all the signs and symbols from God, and you moved forward and you did what you needed to do to shift your life into something really beautiful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Barbara.
I like
You're
that. I
welcome.
really like that. Nice, very, very nice. Kudos.
Thank you, Reverend Barbara. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
wonderful. This
It was such a beautiful story, Linda. So
Yeah.
beautiful. And I feel like I know you for so long, and yet I had no idea what you'd done before I met you. You know, we met as students in RD's
Yes.
class,
Yes, we did.
and I just kind of thought we were both newbies. You know, I had no idea. Well, I love your story. I love the way you told about what was wrong with the room before, and how you excited you were about changing it, and the manifestation of it. Just amazing. Just a wonderful, wonderful story. It was delightful. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. It was very beautiful. Yeah, and
Thank
you
you,
could
Diane.
sell feng shui with your stories.
Mhm.
Thank you, Dee. I
Exactly.
appreciate it.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
I'm a
many.
huge work in progress, for sure.
Aren't we all?
Man.
But it's such a relatable story. You know,
Yes.
it's so relatable
Yeah.
and just beautifully said
Thank you, Sue.
from your heart.
Appreciate it.
Mhm.
I
Morning, Mary Beth.
hi, I'm so
Hi.
sorry. I've been absent and I came in not at the beginning and I apologize, but what I have to say is such a testament to your story and the way you shared it is every piece was so complete.
Mm.
I didn't get quite the beginning. I felt like I was dropped into an experience that was equally fulfilling. And I loved how you brought the positive, but you didn't downplay the negative. So we felt both sides, and also that it wasn't just, it's like things weren't just swept under the rug or didn't just become great. We saw your steps, and in the steps, the positivity, the hope, and the faith.
Mhm.
I just think you're a great writer, and I just really enjoyed it.
Mhm. Thank you so
Oh.
much, Mary Beth.
Yeah.
Bless you.
You know, Linda, um, your story started with, you know, God works in strange ways, or however it was that you put it. And I was ready for a God essay.
Mm.
And I have to say, that's not something that turns me on. Although it's just a name, I believe it's, you know, we each have names for essentially the same
Yes.
power, and you know, but anyway, you went into the story of feng shui, and you know, it's just, I applaud you for, you know, being open to it, because it is,
Yeah.
you know, it can be very woo-woo to people who are
Mhm.
not familiar with such a thing.
Yeah.
And it is a science, but it is very spiritual as well. And the changes you made with utter faith that it would work. And it did. And the fact that you lived under a cutting beam for so many years, and you know, you adjusted that, but you also continued to unknowingly make adjustments. And that was, it was just a natural spiritual experience, and guided you to, you know, remedy what was hurting you. So
Yes.
it's it was, you really wrote it beautifully, and it was what a wonderful experience. And then here we are, you know, that's how I met RD many years ago, as well as one of my feng shui professors. And you know, it's sort of full circle, and it's wonderful. And thank you so much. That was beautiful.
You're welcome, Mary Beth. Thank you. Thank you for your beautiful words. Appreciate it.
Linda, I absolutely love your essay, and I feel like it should be printed in a magazine or printed somewhere, because it really spoke to everyone and anyone could relate to it. I personally love the title, and I always love that expression that God works in mysterious ways, because I do believe that. And as Ann Beth said, God is a word of whatever you want to call it, of the energy that's greater or not greater, just of all of us, or nature, you know, however you want to describe it. But I love that expression, and I love that you titled your essay that, and you did think that you were about to start getting off on religion, and I love that you found feng shui through church, through a meeting with someone at church, and
Yeah.
it really resonated or brought back a memory for me after I had met RD. I was all like, oh, the feng shui, and I had lunch with a bunch of high school friends, and I remember telling them about that I was hanging out with this feng shui guy, and they were like, what is that? And I was telling them, and I'll never forget, one of my friends from high school said, oh, feng shui, it's against my religion. And it's actually, yeah, it's funny to us, but there is a lot of people that believe that, and a lot of people that believe that it is a religion, or it's against their religion, or goes against their religion. So that's another piece that I really loved about your essay, that I feel like could reach the masses, to give them, you don't even have to know anything about feng shui, and your story just gave a great example of how you got into it and how it helped you. And it was such a natural way that you explained it to anyone could understand. So I really love that. And the other piece that I remember is when you said that the book found you. I love that sentence as well, because I think sometimes that's the way things do happen when things,
Yeah.
I think RD had a story too as well. Was it a book fell on the floor or somebody, and then that's where you get the next piece or the next step of your journey. And also, oh, I could keep talking. Your essay was wonderful. But like Dee, I feel like I've known you for so long and I never knew how you got into feng shui or about your health or about, so I'm very touched to hear that your whole journey. Thank you for sharing. Beautiful. It was beautiful.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you.
Yeah.
God bless you.
God bless everybody. I love all of you.
God bless you too.
So Heather was just describing me, a person who has no idea of feng shui, and it was a pleasure to me to listen to your story. And as Heather said, I could follow everything you said and was very clear. And as Beth, I first thought you were writing about your religion, and you did, but not in a way that what I thought is that you made a connection between feng shui and your belief, and that it's part of your belief, and that this is not opposites. And this part I like the most of it. And I share this experience in, for example, in doing my meditation with you. This is not contradictory to my belief, or this is another form of spirituality. And I think this is not, there's no good or bad. There's only the spirituality, what's good or bad for you. And thank you, Linda. Thank you.
That's beautiful, Johan.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, Johan.
Oh, well, that was, oh, go ahead, Lois.
No, go Tammy, you go ahead.
Well, that was everybody. That was really well said, Johan. And geez, Linda, you just really just made me so excited because, you know, like Dee, I met you at our class with RD, and you're just so, you're such a gentle soul and just so beautiful. And I didn't like Heather know of, I guess we knew a few of your struggles, but you know, not your whole history. And thank you, like Heather said, for sharing that. But I also just can relate to it because of the intuitive part, you know, and that's, I think, what I resonated with RD so much, and probably Dee does as well. And you know, people who are, and John, intuitive, you know, when we were taking feng shui, I mean, I took feng shui classes before I met RD, and, you know, everything was just in this kind of box. You know, it was either the compass school or the black hat sect, and, you know, it was confusing. And when I met RD, it just clicked, because like you know, we can walk into a room and feel something's off, you know, you can, and I was allowed to feel that, I guess, and understand that his way of teaching, yes, it's based on principles, but it's also, you get that feeling, and you just spoke about that so well. And just, you know, when you said the book came to you, I had a similar experience too. And we're open to that. When you're open to God or the universe, you know, gives you signs, and you take them and you listen to them, then things do open up for you. And it is exciting. And you just really lit a fire under my butt today. Now I feel like, okay, I need to go around my house a little bit more. And you know, it's like the cobbler with the shoes, right? You know, I've obviously done things, but I think, oh, geez, I probably need, I don't know, I'm getting a little bit more excited now. So thank you so much for that. It was just beautiful. And I love the way you write, and it was just wonderful, wonderful essay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you.
And Lois.
Well, that was beautiful, Linda. And I loved the way you presented everything. And the one thing that to me was connected all the dots was faith.
Right.
Your faith. And what you choose to have faith in, you can manifest. And to me, that was the strength of your faith. It was so beautiful, and how you were open to all possibilities. You know, what you didn't know, what you thought you'd like to know. And you just are so open that you don't have any one track. Your faith is all encompassing. It's like a 360 degrees. And you really wrote that so beautifully that everybody can really understand exactly what you're talking about. And I could say it's neutral in a way, so no one feels like, oh, it's not my religion, or it's not my belief, or, oh, you're going to come after me with robes and incense, you know. So it was just beautiful. And the overriding theme to me, and I love the Message to Masterpiece, that was brilliant. It was just you believe in you is what I got. And that's so beautiful that you can believe in you, and we believe in you. I believe in you. And thank you. Thank you for sharing that beautiful story of you.
Thank you, Lois. Thank you.
Thank you, Lois, for saying that about the faith, because that was a big piece as well. And I got chills when you mentioned that or said about having faith. So thank you for sharing.
I got the chills too.
Getting the chills too.
Melt. We're all in the same energy ball here.
Yeah, when you said that, I got goosebumps.
And Mary Beth, if you want to add something?
Well, I was going to say I have that Florence Shin book. I have to find it.
Amazing.
And I also got chills. My grandmother was, she used to say to me, if there's one thing I can instill in you, it's faith. All the time growing up. And so I definitely felt that. And God isn't always as subtle as that. I've had the more direct experience, I guess. But I love that you followed it and you did it, and echoing again what everybody said. Thank you so much. You want to come over? We could do a double feng shui wine.
There you go.
Great idea.
Great
idea. Thank you, Mary Beth. Sure.
I also think, Lois, that you touched upon something about it not having to be like incense and robes. And I love the way, Linda, that you spoke about how you already knew the principles of feng shui when you were young, that you would cut out pictures of nature and put them up. And that was a thing to feng shui, to change the energy of the room or of the situation. So I love that you also put that aspect, that it's an intuitive thing that we all know, and we just somehow sometimes get away from it or forget it, but I like that piece. I loved it. It was great.
What's great.
So much, Heather.
Heather, that's so true, because that's putting a name on it. You know, I experienced that when I was young too. And I didn't have a name until I found this book when I was, I think, like 40 or something, you know, and I said, that's it. That's what I've been doing. This is what resonates. So like what Lois said, you know, what you give power has power, I think, you know, so, yeah, and what John said too, it's a piece of it. And RD always says, this is another tool in our toolbox, you know, of everything that we do. So thank you for that, Lois, too, of touching on that. And, you know, again, the way you wrote it was not like the religious. I mean, I know people who do yoga, I mean, that wouldn't do the sun salutation because they were so, you know, it was like we were praying to the sun instead of God, you know, so there are people who are very sensitive to this who don't quite understand. And you put it in a really relatable way.
Well said.
Sue.
Yeah, I was just to continue. I'm sorry. Just to continue what Tammy is saying, which was my thought, is that the way you wrote it, Linda, was, even though it started the way it's, the first sentence and the title, it started that way. You wrote your experiences in a very pragmatic way, even though they were, it was ultimately a spiritual experience that all sort of, that ties it together. But that's why I think that piece is so relatable, because it's just written in a very pragmatic way. And if you're intuitive or sensitive, you feel the rest of it. You feel the spirituality of it, but you don't have to. You get it just from the way you wrote it. It's very, very understandable and relatable. And I would submit it somewhere. It's beautifully written, and I would submit it for publication somewhere. Definitely. People,
you.
come on. We want to hear about it, Linda.
Actually, I could suggest to everyone, there are a lot of memoir award programs, and this can definitely be submitted to a memoir, program, or a publisher or whatever contest, and reputable ones, of course. And in my memoir writing class, Allison does, or the other people, they do list certain places which you can make the submissions. And, it's all times during the year. And, of course, they have certain guidelines. But this would definitely, I would definitely, submit it. And for me, as you were reading, it was so heartfelt. I was very touched. But also I was watching my life go by as you were speaking. My life was mirroring your life, all these things and what we're open to. But also you did touch upon the layers of faith and persistence and layers of just being open and continuing. And, and yes, we have our ups and downs. And, I've seen you over the years, the different apartments and being at your mom's place. And we know all these different layers that affect us, family dynamics and all the chi energies and the blessing ceremonies. But, why do we do that? Why do we do that? And so, and for me, I'm just seeing also the evolution of where we are today. And I feel so touched, that, oh, this is the result of my feng shui. It wasn't because I put a crystal on my beam, and it wasn't because I moved my bed, and also I see my life going ups and downs, and somehow, this health situation, I said, what does this all mean? And feng shui went out the window for me. And still, I'm still kind of like, part of me has kind of like thrown out the feng shui, but another part of me, I'm still, my feet are in different worlds, so to speak. And what does this all mean? And so I'm still, touched from your story. And it brings me back, I suppose, in a way, kind of brings me back to my roots, so to speak, of when I started the feng shui. So, and now here I am, and actually you're fueling, about, what am I going to speak at the next feng shui? I was invited, Feng Shui UK have invited me to speak, and something tells me this is something very similar that I would like to talk about. God works in mysterious ways, and maybe would it be okay if I steal your title?
Sure, I hand it over.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, this is absolutely wonderful. And actually, I'm also very inspired that each of us, and I'm hearing little by little, each of you got inspired by This I Believe. And here I was like, oh, should I read from This I Believe? But also in reality, this is the power of the heart. This is what we really are here together. And it doesn't have to be reading from these books. It's a reading from our hearts. And I think that is the most powerful thing, that we're here together, and being here every single day, and whether you're physically here or not here. So and it touches on a lot of different layers, and feelings, and and where we're at. And so, well, I just wanted to share, Nancy just sent pictures to me. She's with her mom right now in Florida. And, her mom is extremely frail. And, I don't know whether her mom even knows that she's there. But, there's a picture of she and Bruce with the mom. And it's just like, it's sad to see that. Then I think about, my cousin's passing. But then I think about the births, and, Barbara, she has a great grandchild. And, a cousin of mine just had a baby boy in the last couple of days. So it's like, all these joys, but also the sadnesses, and and how do we connect? And Linda, you really connected all of us, truly, and I really, really appreciate that. I'm so inspired, and my mind is now reeling. So, oh, what can I write for my next, this I believe, or next, a piece that will, inspire all of us to, just be our family. And it's so interesting. I'm thinking about family, what does that mean? That'll be another topic for another day. So anyway.
Thank you, RT. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for allowing me to be vulnerable too. Because as I'm reading, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is my life story. And it's yeah. Yeah, come a long way. Thank God. And thank God for feng shui. That's all I can say. I've had cousins that I remember at a Christmas or New Year's Day, a New Year's dinner we were having. I mentioned it. I mentioned the word, or I'm doing feng shui. And my cousin said, "Don't mention that word. That's not good. It's not good to do," or something like that. I'm like, and I got a little insulted by that. And I'm glad I didn't listen to him. My uncle's a priest. If there was someone I was really concerned about how I would, what he would think about it, would be him. He gave me the blessing. And when I lost my job from Chase in 2007, he told me, "Don't even worry about the job. The feng shui is going to take off." And then 3 weeks later, I was on TV on Fox News, Good Day New York, with it. And when I told my manager at the old job, he was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that. Wow." And he was right. So it's just, I was so happy when that happened. So yeah, he works in mysterious ways. So yes, all right, do you have my blessing? You can use it.
Oh, any other thoughts? Or I'm also very touched. Very touched.
I think it's
quickly
all so beautiful. Yeah, go ahead, Dee.
Oh, I just want to give a quick explanation. If I disappear, I have to help Carmine with something. I'll just turn the phone around and hope that I can come back, before we're done. Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
It's just all so beautiful. The essays, they do touch the heart. They express the power of the heart, but they're also reflecting what it means to be human. All of the essays, it's just really, really powerful and profound, and it's just wonderful, just really, really wonderful. Heart-opening experience, very, very heart-opening. The essays, our responses, what we're sharing, what we're feeling, what we're thinking, it's just beautiful, just really, really beautiful. It feels like it's wonderful to be a part of the human experience.
Yes.
Yeah, really.
Yes.
Listening to the essays, absolutely. It's just beautiful. Thank you.
It wasn't only the essay, but it's how you read it and where you could feel. We were on the journey with you, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
Versus us just reading the essay versus you reading it, and where you put inflection, or where the tone changed, or where it felt like I was with you on the journey. And I really love that.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
I love what you said, Barbara, about the human experience. I think that everybody's really feeling that in this group. And I just feel really hopeful every time I come away from the bells. Just, you know, everybody has their despairs and their issues and their sadness and their joys, but you know, all of our problems, we can come together for an hour and really get lifted and supported by each other. So thank you. That's beautiful. It is really hopeful to be here.
Yes.
There was something I'll just add. I was at a concert this past weekend in Asbury Park. I don't know who's familiar with the artist Michael Franti, but
Yes, I've heard of him.
yeah, and he has a hashtag that he's really kind of made as part of his paraphernalia that he sells at concerts, and it's simple, and I really feel it applies to this group and this exercise of this storytelling around this, I believe, and it's stay human. You know, and sharing our vulnerabilities and being vulnerable with each other. I think that really is essential to kind of staying human and being human with each other. And I feel like this group permits a platform for everybody to share in that. And it's almost like I feel every human being deserves to have this kind of platform amongst you know, a loving group of people, and
Yes.
it's I think we sense it. I think we all inherently sense it, this need to belong, and perhaps I don't even know if this is part of the reason why people are going through these really strange factions of, you know, these, I don't know, people going against each other, but I mean, this is all in the interest of love and togetherness and community and kinship. And well, I'm just blown away, Linda, that you were able to speak with such vulnerability and poise, and also turn your suffering into joy and to, you know, into new beginnings and health and good health. And you know, power to you.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure watching you grow and flourish and grow in your wings on this journey over these last, I want to say, 7-8 years that I've known you.
Thank you,
Your
John.
friend.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Love you, John.
Love you.
Beautiful.
Love you, John. Thanks.
Oh,
Heartfelt, right?
Heartfelt.
thank you.
Yes, very heartfelt.
Yeah.
So I think at this time, maybe we should just take this time just to be with each other. I mean, actually, as you know, I'm just seeing all of my screen, and all of a sudden, what flashed in me, like we are all this beautiful lotus flower, with all the petals just kind of like radiating, and each one of us is from the petal, and from the center is this beautiful purple healing heart. And so I'm going to hold that image in my mind, and maybe I'll impart that visualization to all of you as we just sit. And then, and Jochen, would you mind doing the little closing at the very end, please? Oh, that would be very beautiful. And I'm just still touched. I'm feeling very emotional, I have to say. So I don't know whether I'm going to say too much for the meditation, but maybe I'll just lead us just to be in a quiet space and maybe just be. How about that? So anyway, oh, thank you so much, Linda. Thank you, all of you, for being here. And thank you, Dee, for the water. She's putting waters, it's in my center screen. So anyway, so let's just relax and just breathe. Put your feet flat on the floor. Or maybe you could feel your feet on the green grass by the waters. Or maybe just sitting just so comfortably in our chairs. Just open to Mother Nature. Open to Feng Shui. Open to the universe. Open to God. And just breathe Inhale and exhale. And just relax. Our hearts are open. Our leaves are interconnected. And we are a beautiful lotus blossom just floating, floating on the calm waters of life. And just be, continuing, just be the light. So let's all gently, gently come gather together at the beach. And let's all walk up to the lighthouse, to the very top of the lantern. And we are all in a circle together, interconnected. There are tears rolling down my face. My heart is open, just filled with gratitude and this infinite love and grace of being with all of you. So let's close our time with the ringing of the bells.
Om Mani Padme Om. 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 Om Mani Padme Om.
Om Mani Padme Om. Words filled with love and compassion and kindness and smiles, grief and joy. So let's gently, gently take our palms, bring it together, slowly awaken our chi cells. And caress your face, wash your face, gentle little taps. Tap along our head, our ears, along the meridians of our arms, gently taps. Gently tap our hearts and our organs. Little gentle taps on the earth and little shake, 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 shake. Thank you so much. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, all of you bells. And now I'm going to now turn off the recording.